Welcome to the show. My name's Jeremy Poole, and I'm the host of The Moment, where we explore and celebrate the necessary transformational process you must go through to achieve at a high level in the real estate industry. Ladies and gentlemen, we're back for another panel where I search far and wide to bring some of the best and brightest in the real estate industry to educate, motivate, and inspire you to reach higher and achieve greater. Let's jump into introductions starting on our left.
Hi, I'm Margo Christophilis. I am at Keller Williams in Greater Seattle. I've been in business 15 years and I am a managing broker of the Christophilis team.
I'm Sharon Crocket, production manager for Team Crocket at Prime Lending.
I'm Natalie, Lorenz. I'm the CEO of Decorus Home Staging.
I'm Brett Burns, Vice President, Directors Mortgage.
Hi, I'm Molly Haines with Homes by Molly Haines at Keller Williams in Kirkland.
Chris McGahan, PNC Bank. I'm a mortgage banker, been in business for 32 years.
Wonderful. Well, thank you guys for showing up and being a part of the show. You guys look so wonderful. Each of you have incredible stories, and I can't wait to dive in. Margo, you're up first.
Okay.
Margo, as managing broker and owner of the Christophilis team, which is it's kind of a small but a very successful team that closed 42 transactions last year, what are you doing to stay in front of your past clients so you can get that call whenever they need to buy or sell next?
So we are a very, small family business. I always want to stay in front of my clients quarterly. I'm either calling people, sending them little gifts. We have Command, Molly will know this, and it can generate smart plans and all kinds of things so we can get in front of our clients so they know what their values of their homes always are. And we do a client appreciation party every year except for last year. Most of the time it's connecting with our referral base, with our past clients, and making sure we're coming to them with value.
Amazing. Incredible. Is there one thing that your past clients just continuously reach out and say, you know what, I love that you do this? Is it like your parties, your appreciation parties? Is there one thing that really causes them to come back to you and say, we really appreciate that you're doing this for us?
It used to be the appreciation parties, but most of these clients will invite me into their home if they want to change a bathroom out, change colors. We don't charge for anything like that. Sometimes people will want to do remodels with us, so I work on that. If they don't have money, I front that sometimes with a contract, and so I bring value by always showing up in their home. Sometimes we take people out for drinks in small groups. I try to find out what people like if it's having a chef or going chocolate tasting or just different things that maybe people wouldn't think of. So we do send out, my son sends out informational emails so we can find out what our clients like. And then we update everything in Command.
That's fantastic. I love that. One thing I thought was really cool and intriguing is that you work with your son. How long has that been a thing for you, and how is that going? Because I'd imagine in some dynamics that can be pretty difficult.
My son is an amazing guy. He's been with me 8 out of the 15 years that I've been in this business. Last year we closed 42 deals, the year before 59. I couldn't do what I do without him. He's manages my office, he goes to all the inspections, he, writes our contracts, and every agent that we present to, they're like, who's this guy? And so, he's a special guy, and he likes me to lead, so it works out well. He lets me take the lead, and then he's the quiet guy in the background, but he's very powerful in the background.
So is that something that was sort of his plan? Was it your plan? How did that whole thing happen?
Okay, so this will be just a small story, and I'm going to suck it up, and this woman knows me. So, 8.5 years ago, my sister got ill, and he got his license to help me, and he stayed. Graduate of Western University, was going to be a doctor, changed his mind and said, I'm here with you, Mom. And he's been with me.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Sorry about that.
No, that's incredible. Like, that's
Love
what the
my
show's all
sister.
about.
Yeah, so he's just, he's that support system. He's that guy. He takes that support role. He's not, how people are like, no, where's my name? He doesn't want that. He's like, it's you, and I'm right here, So, yeah, that's how that's worked out. It's been good. I'm grateful. Yeah.
Do you guys perhaps have any questions?
Interesting you say that because actually I got in the business with my dad.
Oh, and you are right now too?
He's now since retired, working on golf
Okay.
mostly. But it was a cool dynamic to say, like, sometimes I think the brothers or the sisters is a little bit tough because it's competition.
Right.
Or mom and son or dad and son. It was, he could really pour in. Because I think a lot of us, as we're training staff, sometimes, hey, are they here for the long run? And if it's your son or daughter, for
Right.
sure. So it was a great way for us to work together for probably at least a decade. And then you just really get the true learning and passion from that. So
Oh,
it was
I
a
love
pretty cool
that.
experience.
That's awesome. Before real estate, my parents had restaurants, and so I worked with my dad there too. So these are great combinations. Thanks for sharing that. It's awesome.
Awesome.
Margo, 59 deals the year before, 42 this past year.
Yeah.
How do you go out and get your business?
People ask me that all the time, and I always tell them, I get up out of bed every morning, I put both my feet on the ground, I thank God, and then I get up and I make my calls, past clients, referrals, I do Zillow, and I'm calling people several hours a day, and then I'm in appointments, in the afternoons, and we're calling people and asking them, can we help with anything if I haven't talked to you for a couple months? Who do you know that needs to buy or sell? Sometimes we tell them, hey, we're out of a job. Who do you know that wants to, buy or sell? Just, you make a lot of friendships in this business, going to Starbucks, going here, going to dinner. And we help a lot of families that just, they also come upon us by meeting them in really strange places, right? So, yeah.
Thank you so much. Sharon, you're up next. Sharon, you and your team of 3 managed to close 223 mortgage loan transactions in 2020 for a total volume of $83 million. What are a couple of things that you and your team are doing to ensure you maintain this level of production as mortgage rates begin to rise?
Yes, that is a great question. So I think everybody would agree on this panel that last year was what people like to call a unicorn year as far as being rare. Will we ever see another 2020? In some ways, probably we hope not. People are settled in with their low rates that they got from refinancing and purchasing. And so I think the economists are saying that a lot of people are going to be staying in their homes longer than they normally do because they've got those 2.5% rates, and and that's what's contributing to our low inventory. So we're in a different market now. So as far as maintaining that production and level, I think it's just going to shift as far as our focus, and we're just going to continue to do what we do best as far as being an out-of-the-box lender. As a loan officer, and you guys would agree, we've got some other loan officers on the panel here, you can't just do a good faith estimate, as they used to be called, or a loan closing disclosure, and be done with that. We're advisors now. We really have to sit down and listen to people and find out what their goals are and restructure their bucket of money so that you can maybe figure out how much down and how much over appraisal that they might need to do, and really listen to them and then crunch those numbers several times. So we've really stepped it up, which we've always done that, but just really going above and beyond and advising and helping coach people and coming alongside them and just continuing to do that, which is why people call us, to be honest. Yeah.
Excellent. I love that. Are there any additional marketing strategies, maybe some things that you haven't tried yet, or maybe things that worked in the past that you're now re-implementing into your business? Maybe social media, new ad campaigns?
Yeah, well, we are on the radio and the TV show over in North Central Washington. I have an office in Wenatchee, so I'm on NCW Life on that channel once in a while as an interviewed guest. And then we do the radio show every Saturday in the North Central Washington area as well. It's called Home Sweet Home. And we've been doing that for a while, and that reinforces our presence. But we also do a lot of co-marketing as far as print and social media and web marketing with real estate agents. We can invite them in and co-market pieces with them. But really, it's just, we just really answer our phone and answer questions quickly. We really pride ourselves in not letting the voicemail, pick up that call. Right. So that's kind of our main, people just love, I love that you answer the phone. I just have a quick question.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
As things start to slow down in terms of COVID, and it's a little bit more socially acceptable to be socially active. Are there anything that you're planning to integrate into your business in terms of having more face time with your clients?
I am looking forward to getting out into offices again. I went into one just yesterday. I was meeting with a client with one of our other realtors, and the broker was in there, and I was just like, oh my gosh, it's so good to see you. You know, it's just nice to have things start opening up. So just the general, just going in and seeing people face to face, I think everybody's excited about that.
Amazing,
Yeah.
100%. And you'll be joining us tomorrow for the moment after party.
Yes,
So that's
I'm
great.
excited for that.
Yeah.
Very excited just to be out, dressed
That's
up,
gonna be
in
fun.
heels, not in my tennis shoes and yoga pants. Yes.
100%. You guys have any questions for him?
I think you've asked at least what I was going to talk about marketing.
Okay.
I would like to ask, how does it feel to work with your son?
Yes, I was going to say I work with my son as well. He's been with me 8 years, like yours, and we're a really good team as well. He helps me manage the office in Wenatchee, and we're a really good team. He has a whole different demographic of people that he talks to, so I'm more of the mom age, you know, and he's scooping up all these young millennials, and they all love the way he communicates
That's
with
awesome.
them, and then he gets all these amazing reviews. We loved Michael. Michael was great, and this and that and the other, and I'm like, hey, what about me?
He's a great kid.
I mean, you kind of say that, but at the same time, you're happy because you're like, I want him to be successful, and I love that. You're proud.
You're
He
proud.
has a different way of reaching some of the people I wouldn't connect with the same.
I love that.
Sharon, you have 2 offices or just the one in Wenatchee?
Well, our main office, we're licensed out of the Wenatchee office, but we have the Marysville office because we have a home on both sides. So yeah, we're wherever we need to be. And then Prime Lending's licensed in all 50 states, so we've done more loans in Arizona, Montana, Wyoming, Idaho than we ever have, just with everything going
I
on.
know, I've done a
So,
lot of deals with referrals in Scottsdale.
Yeah,
Right now.
a lot
and
of
some
people
other
can,
places, yeah.
buy homes in other places now. So yeah.
Getting out of Seattle.
So same question in regards to your son. Was that a strategy or a plan or a dream that you've always had, or was it something that was working so well for you, he saw your career flourishing and he decided to jump in?
That is a great question. He was actually going to go into the military.
Okay.
And then he wanted to do police work. And then he asked me one day, he goes, hey, I would love to assist you for a while and help you out. And I'm like, sure, I didn't even see it on the radar of him joining. But he got involved and at Mortgage Advisory Group when we were there for a while. And he just was a natural. And so he started getting more and more experienced and more, versed in what to say to clients. And then he just got hungrier for more, doing more, and got licensed, and it just kind of took over. And one day I was like, oh my gosh, you're doing this. Are you sure you want to do this? Like, are you sure you don't want to go in the military? And he's like, no, I think I want to do this. He goes, I just love the challenge and the freedom and, the rewards and stuff. So yeah.
You being his mom, did you know that he would be good at it, or were you kind of secretly concerned, like, oh, I don't know if he's going to be good at this?
I didn't know he would be good at it.
Okay. Does he know that?
He knows he's good at it. Now I listen to him talk on the phone and I'm like, oh my gosh, you are so good. Like the way just even now, he's been with me 8 years, and his conversations and the things he says to his clients and the way he reaffirms their, there's a lot of empathy in our business, right? You have to really listen. So what I hear you saying is, blah, blah, blah. He's just really good at that, probably because he's my firstborn and I raised him that way. We talked a lot like that in the house. So
And I've
picked up on
noticed
it.
from working with him that he's really calm, and that's how my son is. So
Yes.
we're really energetic, and then they bring a different
That's
piece
one
in.
way to put it.
That's how I'm going to put it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Yes,
sometimes.
they're like the stable.
Yes.
Yeah. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, we got to do this and this.
Right.
And the business-minded thinking, and he's just more of the stable force,
And so it
which is good.
works.
You need a balance. Yeah.
That's phenomenal. Thank you. All right. Natalie, you're up. You are the owner of Decorus Home Staging, a residential home staging company that has been serving the Kirkland area since 2017. The question I have for you is really in 3 parts. How did you get into the staging business initially? How did you manage to stay in business during the pandemic? And what have you learned that will help you better prepare for future disruptions in the market?
So how I got into staging was in 2015, I had back surgery. And while I was recovering from my back surgery, I watched way too much HGTV. You know we've all done it,
Yeah.
right? And I decided I wanted to flip a house. So I decided to get my license, my real estate license, so that I would have back-end information about the industry. Not that I wanted to sell houses, I just wanted more information. So I went and got my license, bought a house, flipped it, came to the end of the project, and I had my house staged by a stager who worked with the investment community. And it was okay staging. We just needed my broker wasn't very happy with it, and we needed some fill-in pieces. So I promptly went off and bought some stuff, and my friends were like, hey, why don't you start a staging company? I was like, whoa, this project has been like way more than what I expected it to be. It was extremely challenging. I don't want to start another business right now. So it was kind of like in the back of my mind of maybe I should start one. Fast forward a couple of months, it was more than a couple of months. We sold in August. In Christmas time, my husband bought me 2 staging books, and I started reading them, and I said, oh, there is staging conferences around the country. So I went to my husband and I said to him, hey, there's staging conferences in Vegas. And he goes, well, I guess you're going to Vegas. I'm like, oh, okay. And I was like, well, if I'm going to Vegas to a staging conference, I better know what staging is about. So I looked online. At that time, my kids were super small, and I couldn't do anything online as far as doing education online. I needed to separate myself from home. So I found a staging company that did in-person staging training up in Vancouver, BC, and I went up there and got certified as a stager. 2 weeks later, went to the staging conference for the Real Estate Staging Association in Vegas, and then 3 weeks later, started my staging company. Yeah.
And so from there, you now have a staff of what, 10?
There are 11 of us
11
now.
of us now.
11 of us.
And you're actually going to a trade show in Vegas tomorrow, aren't you?
I am, yes. So we're going to the furniture market. It's over 5 million square feet of home furnishings.
In Vegas?
In Vegas,
Wow.
yeah.
Wholesale?
Wholesale.
Cocktails in there.
And then you can
Oh,
go
yeah. 3 o'clock, the cocktails come out. Yeah, so we go and we buy new inventory. We see what the upcoming trends are so that we can stay ahead of the curve and make sure that how we're staging the houses are with what homeowners are looking for and seeing in magazines.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So if you wouldn't mind, please talk to me about how were you able to stay in business during the pandemic, especially during that weird time?
Yeah.
And did you have to like get a whole new staff, or did your staff stay with you?
So I furloughed my staff when we all shut down.
Sure.
And we were like, oh my gosh, what are we gonna do? And we were constantly on the phone with the governor's office trying to get us approved as essential workers, because our furniture was sitting in people's houses, and there's
Wow.
people were still buying and selling the houses. The process is still going on. We're like,
That's
well,
scary.
you can't take our furniture. If the house closes with our furniture in it, it transfers with the house. So anyway, there was a lot of back and forth with the governor's office, and eventually we got classed as essential workers. So we were closed down for 2 weeks into the pandemic. Yeah. So I had a bunch of we were actually on track for our best month ever in March, and we got shut down. So it was just gut wrenching. But I had a number of contracts on file. So my husband and I, who works with me in my business, we came back together and we started staging those houses. And then slowly but surely, we started bringing our staff back, and we were back to a full staff at the end of June. How I stayed in business was I'm very much a believer in continuing education, not only in how I do my job, but as far as business as well. And I'm part of the Home Staging and Redesign Alliance, and I do a lot of masterminds with them throughout the year. And I had already done a lot of planning for my year of 2020. And so when the pandemic hit, I was like, everyone was talking about pivoting, changing our business. You've got to do this. We've all got to go online. You've got to do consultations online. We've got to do virtual staging. And I was like, in my guts, I was like, I don't know that I need to pivot that much, because my clients aren't telling me that I need to pivot. So I just stopped for a moment. It's like, you know what? We're already on a good path the path that I've set for my business for 2020 is a solid one, and I think we just need to stay the course. And of course, we had to adjust a little bit with being shut down and not being fully staffed and that kind of thing. But I didn't offer virtual consultations. In fact, all of my clients were like, we'll wait for you until you're ready to come back in person. I had one broker that used virtual staging, did not have success with it. And then as soon as we were able to stage again, we staged for them, and within 2 days, the house went pending. So, you know, it was just like, I just listened to my gut, listened to what our clients actually wanted, and they weren't interested in the virtual part of it. So we just stayed the course, and we had a 37% growth last year.
Wow,
Yeah.
excellent.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
You've only been in business for a few years. You're doing really, really well. Did you always see yourself as a business owner? Like, what is your background outside of your staging success?
No, I'm from South Africa. I used to work for British Airways.
Love your accent, by the way.
Thank you. My husband would say I don't have an accent anymore. But yeah, I worked for British Airways. 2 days out of school, senior year in school, I started working for British Airways and worked my way up through the ranks in the operations department. And I got married to my husband and moved to the States in 2005 and just kind of tried to find my way. Worked at Expedia and a value-added reseller in the tech industry. My husband's from the tech industry, and just kind of a little bit of this, a little bit of that, no real path. And then I had my kids, and I was a stay-at-home mom, and I just didn't. It just wasn't enough for me. I needed something a little bit more. So I tried my hand at doing some vintage trading. Loved going to estate sales and finding treasures. I love old things. I think I love preserving history. So then promptly found out that as much fun as it was, I wasn't making very much money doing that. But that gave me a little bit of a taste of that entrepreneurial life and being my own boss. And then it's like, okay, you know, maybe this is something that I want to try, but somewhere else. So it's nothing that I ever searched for. It just so happened there's like, okay, this is kind of the path that I'm on. And the staging has just blown up, and it's just been super successful for us. Yeah.
Congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Do you guys have any questions for her?
One question for me would be the trends that have changed, maybe. Like, have you seen a big trend change throughout COVID or just in general? I mean, kind of seems like with HDTV stuff is flipping nonstop, but...
Yeah, there's certain trends that are going out, like shiplap is going out.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it is. Everyone's like, yeah, we're kind of tired of shiplap.
Yeah.
The industrial type look is going out. But it was really interesting because I was telling someone that, you know, I haven't been to market since July last year, so it's almost been 9 months since I've been to market. So it's going to be super exciting to see what the new trends are coming in. But what's fun to see is that there's something for everyone. There's the bohemian look, there's the super glam look, there's, you know, the super trendy modern look, and so it's always fun to just see. So I'm actually, for our local real estate staging association chapter, we have the biggest chapter in the whole country, which is awesome. I'm going to be doing a trends presentation at our next chapter meeting, so it's going to be fun to see what market brings.
That's great. I was just going to ask that. Number one, I was just on your website, beautiful website.
Thank you.
Is what happens when you stock up on something that everyone loves, so you get more of it, and then you're left with stuff that nobody wants, and then how do you communicate to market that, hey, I have this new batch of awesome stuff that I think you really like?
Right.
Like,
So-
what is your marketing strategy for that?
So staging there's definitely a difference between staging and designing, right? And interior design. So if you'll notice, I'm sure as brokers you go onto tons of listings and you'll see all the staging. There's certain pieces that just kind of stay the same. Neutral couches, slipper chairs, the beds are all neutral. And how we bring in the trends are just essence of the trends. So it's like, let's just take, for instance, millennial pink, right? We'll do a millennial pink throw pillow with a vase. but we won't get a millennial pink bed. We'll just add those little essence of the trends, right? So that when homeowners come in and the buyers come in, they can kind of see those trends if they're seeing in HGTV magazines and, you know, Elle magazine and that kind of thing. So it's just so we don't overstock our inventory with latest trends that very quickly go out of trend. So we kind of get our use out of what the few things that we do get in for trends, and then we kind of go on to the next one.
Natalie, how big is your warehouse?
14,000 square feet.
14?
Yeah, we just doubled our warehouse space, so we're just so excited about it.
Where is it here?
In Kirkland.
In Kirkland. That's not cheap.
And then how do you
it's
how do you
not.
store
Yeah,
everything?
is it like all organized
Yeah.
by lamps, pillows?
Yeah, so we have our accessory aisle, our florals, because you have to have everything that would go in a house, right? Bedding, pillows, towels, hand soaps, shower curtains, rods, light bulbs. Yeah, we have a very organized warehouse. So as I mentioned, my husband is, he's my business partner. I'm 100% on woman business, but he's still my business partner. I couldn't do it without him. The warehouse is definitely, that is his jam, that is his lane. Our logistics is just amazing. As a busy staging company, we staged 30 houses in March, so that's going in and coming out. So 60 moves. There's a lot of logistics that go into that. So.
I wish your husband was here because I'd love to ask him the question of did he think was this just going to be a side hobby that was going to cost him extra money? Like, did he ever anticipate that you'd have this level of success?
No more pillows. Actually, he was so into me starting a staging company because I kept on changing the interior of our house every 6 months.
He was trying to keep you busy.
So he's like, start a staging company, go decorate other people's houses. But, you know, I think he would say now, if he knew how much investment it was actually going to take to be a successful staging company, he may have thought twice about doing it. But we're in it. It's our beast. We love our beast. We feed our beast every day. And we just continue to grow from strength to strength and push to grow too.
How do you charge? Is it by square footage? Is it...
No, every staging company is a little bit different. I charge by the size of the room, and I have a whole big spreadsheet that goes into it, but what's going to go into the room. And then also we have different levels. We have our standard, which we see in most of our houses that we stage, and then we have our deluxe level, which we use for more for builders, because builders want that to see more of a model home. They want more of the nooks and crannies and landings filled. And then we have our luxury product for the higher end homes that there's just no expense spared on them, and we just put what needs to be put in them.
Excellent.
That's what I was going to ask you. Like, do you say no to any business? I mean, you do condos.
We do condos. It's kind of like a natural progression right now that people that have the condos don't want to pay our prices. And I'm okay with it. And it's not that I'm expensive. I'm not the cheapest. Definitely on the higher end of that middle part. But because condos, there's a misnomer that because it's a condo, it's going to be cheaper. Yeah. The same amount of furniture goes into that. It's just scaled furniture, right? And actually, it's more effort to do condos because we've got to go upstairs and elevators and that kind of thing. So, you know, unfortunately, they don't want to pay our prices, and that's okay because then that leaves my calendar open for doing single-family homes.
Sure.
So,
Love it. Yeah. So, things are going well. What's next? Are you planning on kind of maintaining the volume, or are you wanting to?
No. With that 14,000 square foot space, you just said it, it's expensive. So we certainly need to double our business, double our volume in what we're doing. But our main goal right now is we're really pushing into the luxury market. We're going to be launching by the end of summer a full luxury line for staging, so going that 4 million up houses that really demand that extra level of service. Not only the product that we put in the house, but that level of service that we're going to be offering. So we'll have our normal standard stages that we love doing, that we're very good at doing, but our focus right now is to start moving towards the luxury market and really gaining a foothold in the luxury market.
Excellent. For those luxury agents who are watching, What sort of timeline are we looking at for that product or service to come out?
Yeah, so end of summer, so I'm busy working on, we're doing a little bit of a brand refresh that's going to come with that luxury product. Going to market, we wanted to launch it a little bit sooner because we wanted to, but because of COVID, they pushed market back from January to April. So we wanted to, with luxury, it's about the feel, it's quality, and we didn't want to just buy online because we wanted to feel that quality. So now that we can get our hands on that stuff on Sunday, we're going to be purchasing a whole bunch of luxury items to fill in our inventory. So we're hoping to get about 5 or 6 suites of furniture for luxury homes and be able to launch that at the end of summer.
Excellent. Well, you should definitely integrate some of those luxury items into my private events.
I believe in May we're going to be doing that.
Right, that's right. Well, I'm good. Do you guys have any other
How many
questions?
people and how fast can you get a home staged?
Good question.
Is it in 24 hours? Is
Yeah, so the actual staging, most houses take us 2 to 3 hours to do.
Wow.
Yeah. We will do 3 projects a day.
Really?
If it's a really big house, that 6,000 square foot house, and we're doing the whole house, it will take the whole team about 4 to 5 hours to do it.
What do you do with all the people's stuff if you're taking stuff out?
We're a specialist in vacant stagings.
Oh, okay.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
So it's already vacant.
It's already vacant, yes. It's just a matter of us moving in.
How
So,
much notice do you need from a realtor?
in springtime, the more the better because our calendar does get full. But typically, if we have availability in our calendar, 48 hours from the time of the signed contract. So, yeah, more is better. But we're growing our team because our philosophy is that we always want to say yes.
Yeah.
We want to be able to have those slots on our calendar, so we can do 3 projects a day, and we do them very, very well. And you'd never know that we do 3 projects a day because the standard of our quality of our stages just remains the same no matter what.
Selling. I love it. I love it. Well, on that note, we're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back. Stay tuned for more.